Yo, what's up? It's me again. I'm gonna be doing this thing where I'm doing videos back and forth with my brother. He's made like three, and this is only my second one, so number two. I can't really do this every day, so I'm just probably gonna do it every week. You can probably expect a video from me every Saturday, just like update on things, go over whatever the heck's on my mind at the moment, or any back and forth that we have. Currently, he made a short little response in his video to my video, so we're gonna have that back and forth going. The Hanky Bros. Let's see. I took notes as well. I've actually got my computer this time. Haha! It's like running. Haha! The thing with the intercom, I thought that was funny. We don't have that here. If someone needed to find me, they could call my class commander, say, "Hey, get Hankinson to be here," and he'll either call me directly or my class NCO, who will then contact me and say, "Hey, you need to be here," which is usually how it works. I usually get a text that says, "Hankinson, you need to be here now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." All right, I get up and go. We don't get the intercom. That's kind of interesting. I apologize. I don't know why I thought you left in June. I should have known that it was August because I was here in August, and I remember Mom and Dad telling me that on the phone. So that's my bad. When you mentioned SHARP, my roommate and I cracked up because sexual harassment, assault, response prevention. Now, when you say that really fast, it sounds like you're preventing a response to that stuff. Obviously, it's sexual harassment / assault, response, and prevention is probably what it really means. I have to be honest, I would have to look it up. I don't actually remember how old Grandma Hetty was either. Dad would know. Dad would definitely know. But yeah, she was pretty old. I actually remember one Easter we were there and she was like stealing like a lot of the Easter candy. I was surprised. I was like, oh, I would have thought at that age you'd be very worried about what you eat. And she's like, are you kidding? I've been around for like 97 years, okay? I could really care less what happens to me anymore. I'm gonna die when I die, and when it happens, that'll be it. I was like, okay, Grandma. Interesting outlook. I never really thought about it that way, but I guess when you're that old, that becomes your outlook on life. You know, some people try to go for like a trimillennial, like, I know we discussed it because we were close, and you've actually got a better shot because you were born in 97, so you only got to get to 104. I was in 93, so I'd have to go to like 108 to go try Century, but whatever. I'm not really going to try for that, honestly. I do have like some goals in life, like everybody's got a bucket list. If you don't have a bucket list, I recommend making one just because I like lists. They help us think concretely. Like you can look at it and go, okay, these are the things that are important to me. I want to do this, 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 and this. These will be like your dreams and goals to shoot for. They'll really help you like put direction into your life. Like for example, one of my biggest dreams is to design my own car. I want to be a car designer. So I went to college before I got into the Marine Corps. I noticed, David, you were wearing your uniform for the last video, so I decided to wear mine because I noticed something. Let me see if I can get some brightness on this. There we go. I've noticed your name is on the left side, and it says U.S. Army on the right, whereas with me, the name is on the right, and U.S. Marines is on the left. I thought that was interesting. They're switched up that way. And also, we wear rank on the collar. I know you really can't see because I'm in Woodlands. I think I've got, sitting around here somewhere, I've got a set of deserts. Let me see if I can... There's more contrast. This is a set of trousers, but the desert contrast, it really makes it a lot easier to see the rank. I've got one on the collar here. You can't see this. It's funny because we'll pass like a first sergeant or whatever. He's got 3 chevrons and 3 rockers, and then a little diamond in the middle. And there's just so much black. We're just like, good afternoon, sir. No idea. Let me put this back in there. You don't have to do this, do you? You just get to put it right here in the center of the chest, and it's like ironed on by whoever does your tailoring. And I have to do this myself, and I have to take these off when I wash it, which I'm going to do later. And then it's going to go back. It's got to be like positioned like a ½ inch from each side. I have to make sure it's like exact. Where was I? So I want to be a car designer. So I went to college before I joined the Marine Corps for automotive technology. And I learned a lot, actually, about how cars work, most of which I felt like I already knew, but it turns out I just understood how the system should work, and it was just confirming stuff, so I'm more confident with it now. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is how this works. And I actually did learn a few things. Like, I think torque converters are really cool how they work. There's not even a diagram that you can make because it's like a 3D donut-shaped vortex that happens inside the transmission, or actually connected to the transmission. The point is, it's really cool. And I learned all about how cars work, and then I went and worked in an auto body shop, completely different field. And I learned so much about how the framework of a car works. So that really got me a lot of knowledge on how cars are built and how they work and like everything that needs to go into it. So I got a good background on that. I also got really good at painting. They never let me paint a car, but I got really good with a spray gun. It's kind of funny. I remember we tried to make a Tesla coil a few years ago, and we were trying to spray enamel, and they're just going like like all that erratic stuff that everybody who's never used a spray gun before does. I was like, guys, can I do this? And like, I wiped off the mess that they made on there because it was still wet. I made such a nice even coat. I was so proud of myself. And they're like, okay, Mr. Car Guy does this for a living. I'm like, well, yeah, that's kind of why I did it. That's one of my dreams in life, is to be able to design cars later. I'm not in that field right now. I'm in electronics maintenance. What people have told me is that a lot of the CEOs of big companies in America are retired military. More than half of them are Marines. Reason being, they've been in a military setting. They understand how to run a team environment. They understand how to lead people. They've got that leadership background. So that's what I want to do. I'm in this to make better of myself, learn leadership skills, and it's going to set me up for my dreams later. So that's really what I'm getting at here, is if you make a bucket list and you figure out what the important things to you are in life, you can really give direction to your life. It helps you figure, okay, this is what I need to do to get there. And if stuff comes along the way, adaptability. That's with anything. You got to be able to adapt to a situation. You got to be able to take an opportunity and run with it. Be able to make that decision. Is this a good idea? It's when you bounce ideas off of friends. I try not to make life-changing decisions in less than 3 days. It's just a thing I do. It took me like a couple of years to decide I wanted to join the Marine Corps. I'm a little slow in that respect, but hey, I'm here. Now, my parents would disagree because I kind of sprung it on them, but I actually did consider it for a long time. Then, like, other smaller dreams, like, I want to travel. I'll be able to do that in the Marine Corps, but, like, one of the places I want to go is Australia. As a kid, I was a big Steve Irwin fan. And obviously, I can't go see him perform in the Crocodile. That was my big deal. Obviously, I can't go do that anymore, but pretty sure his daughter Bindi actually still puts on shows and stuff. His wife and his daughter have really carried on his legacy, especially his daughter. Funny thing, there was a story recently, I don't know if anybody saw this, there was an article about Bindi being on Dancing with the Stars, and to be on it, she has to get consent from her parents because she's not 18. So her mother signed a consent form. And this one judge is going, I need to see one from your father. Really, dude? Really? The most famous environmentalist out there has been dead for 9 years, and you don't know about it? Really? And then she explains, well, I can't. My dad died like 9 years ago, so he can't really sign a consent form. Even if he just didn't know about it, I could understand that. The guy is just so stubborn about it. He's like, no, I don't believe you. I think you're lying to me. And like, wouldn't you believe the mother? Like, if she told you that her husband died 9 years ago, I mean, so she's trying to look up a death certificate for Steve Irwin to prove that he's dead so that she can be on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, it was so ridiculous. I hear she's doing well, so it must have blown over. But I just thought that was hilarious, that someone could be that ignorant. Now, you mentioned about famous people being president. It was Ronald Reagan that he was talking about, and he said that Ronald Reagan did an amazing job, and so that's reason to believe that Donald Trump would probably do a good job. And, of course, I agree with you on pretty much all of the points you made. There is something to be said for speaking your mind and not trying to pander to people, because, honestly, this generation is way too focused on political correctness. To put that into perspective, a friend of mine decided to find the most politically correct way to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And he's like, we actually figured out the only way to be completely politically correct and say this is Happy Snow Time. It's absolutely ridiculous, the lengths that you have to go through to not offend somebody. And even then, someone will find a way to get offended. I just think people get too worked up over political correctness these days. I mean, the thing with Starbucks was a big deal. My thing that I had to say about the Starbucks issue is I couldn't even figure out what it was such a big deal about. I'm like, really? You're getting offended because the cup is red? Really? You drink beer out of a red cup every other weekend. Why is it different when it's coffee? And obviously not everybody drinks beer, not everybody uses a red Cell cup. But the point is, why do you get offended over the color of a cup? This is the level of ignorance and stupidity that goes on in this country. If you try to please everybody, you're going to please nobody. So stand up for yourself. This is the way I am. If you are Jewish and you want to tell me Happy Hanukkah, cool. If you're a Christian and you want to say Merry Christmas, if you want to say Happy Holidays, cool. I'm just happy that you took time out of your day to give me a greeting. There's something to be said for sticking up for yourself, but it only goes so far. When you're running for the presidential candidacy, you can say, okay, this is the way I am. If you don't like it, don't vote for me. And the crowd will choose. That's how a democracy should work. But foreign policies need to be politically correct. If you offend potential voters, they just won't vote for you. If you offend a country you're trying to be allies with, chances are they won't be allies with you. Do you see how that's a problem? The gun laws thing. American Dad made a great point when Haley thought, Dad, guns kill people. And Stan's like, okay, pulls out his pistol, places it on the table, go ahead, gun, kill someone. Your argument is invalid. It makes an excellent point. It's a tool. It's what you do with it. You as a person do it. It's a tool. Honestly, the reason I think we should loosen up the gun laws is because when you take away the people's ability to defend themselves, you're only putting them more in danger. Yes, idiots are a thing that exists and you have to deal with it. But if you educate the people, looking at San Bernardino right now, if people in that area were educated about guns, and if it was a society where everybody just had a gun, those guys would have been a lot less confident going in there with guns. Because anyone can just pull out a gun and be on the same playing field. Especially if they're educated and know how to use it. That's the thing. The arguments I hear are that people just don't know how to use a gun. But if you tell them how to use a gun, it's a powerful tool. And in fact, there are many ways to use a gun without ever pulling the trigger. You can talk somebody out of a gunfight. You can walk in there with a gun, simply have the ability to fire the gun, but never have to actually do it if you're good with words. And the people can be proactive instead of the police being reactive. That's the problem with gun law, is you're forcing the police to be reactive to every problem. You can prevent the problem before it happens if you allow the people to defend themselves. On a lighter note, about the AIT thing, Advanced Individual Training, that still really doesn't tell me much because we have AIT in the Marine Corps, it's called MARSOC. The guys who are like total badasses and whatnot. So if that's you in the Army, I'm actually kind of curious what the equivalent of that is. Someone said it might be Green Berets, I don't know what that is. If you could maybe elaborate a little bit on what AIT means. Obviously, I know you can't go into too much detail, but like give us a general idea of what that means. We have what we call HIT, which is High Intensity Tactical Training. It's somebody who loves to exercise, and this is all they want to do with their lives, and they're being paid to help you exercise until you drop. And it's really fun, too. We're doing MCMAP now, so that's kind of cool. MCMAP is a Marine Corps martial arts program, so that should be self-explanatory. But I really want to get back into HIT, because that was awesome stuff. It's a lot of dynamic workouts, which, like I said, I don't like to go to the gym. And I'm actually surprised, because most of the time, Marine Corps gets the second-hand stuff, and the hand-me-downs and whatnot. We use technology that the Army throws away, and then we make it work better than what the Army is currently using. It's just what we do. So I'm actually kind of shocked that you guys don't have a gym. We have a really nice gym. We've got like just a row of 30 benches. We have a couple of air-powered machines. I thought that was really cool. We've got a field area, turf field, indoors, and we've got sleds with weights you can put on it. We've got ropes. We've got dummies that you can work on different martial arts moves with. We've got some heavy bags. We've got full gym. There's even a racquetball court in there. There's stuff in here I never even thought of. And that to me would tell me that the Army's got to have something nicer. So when you're telling me that like you don't have a gym, I'm like, whoa, wait, really? You should see the gym we have here. And I don't use it because I don't like going to the gym. I was there the other day because they wanted to show us some circuits you can do. Let's see, we started with tire flips, which these are big tractor tires. They weigh like 300 pounds each. We did 10 tire flips, 5 out and 5 back in. Then we did a 200-pound sled pull, and then we both had to push it back. Then we did 80-pound medicine balls over the shoulder 10 times. Then we did clean presses of 100 pounds. We did 10 of those. And that was one cycle. And we had a team of 2, and so we both had to do it. And we were trying to do it faster than the other team of 2. Marines are motivated, and at the same time, Marines are not motivated. It's kind of hard to explain unless you're in. So, David, I'm sure you're going to understand this with your PT for the Army. It's you love PT, but you hate PT. So really the only way to get people to do anything is to make it a competition. I was in the gym for that because we were using the equipment there. But I prefer non-equipment based workout, like the leg murders I explained in the last video. My favorite for endurance, if you're a runner, this is a great workout. You get 3 guys or more. It works with more. Person A, B, and C. You need a harness for this. It's got like a 10-foot string with a handle you carry on it. Person A runs around the track while person B puts on the harness. When they come back, person A picks up the handle at the end of the harness and person B pulls person A around the track. Simple. Person C is meanwhile putting on another harness. You can see where this is going. When they come back around, person A is now done. They get to rest. Person B pulls off the harness, hands it to person A, picks up the handle for person C's harness, and person C pulls person B around the track. And then you just repeat this. They come in, person C takes off the harness, hands it to person B gets a rest. Person C picks up the handle that person A is now wearing, and they run around the track. On a quarter-mile track, a quarter-mile is easy to run, but the point is, when you have a fresh person pulling you harder than you want to run, it forces you to really dig deep to be able to keep up with this person, and it really helps your stamina a lot. We call it dragging the dead. It's one of my favorite workouts for stamina training, and you just keep that up for as long as you guys feel is necessary. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do without actually going to the gym that I don't like to go to the gym, but sorry about that, bro. So yeah, we're probably going to be doing this back and forth weekly thing. Definitely check out my brother's video. I'll put a link. We should probably make a dual channel. We probably won't do that though. I've never asked for subscribers before. If you like this video, subscribe. I will make more.